Next point, your face should have expressions according to the matter you speak. Your facial expressions. See, imagine if you're telling, I welcome you. All of you welcome. And if angry, I am very angry with you. I am very angry. You are smiling, I am very angry. It doesn't match. So facial expressions, it is matching. When I say, I am very happy, mashallah. Mashallah. So you are looking angry, mashallah. You don't say that. So whatever you say, automatically your face, now for me, to say the opposite, I am taking a conscious effort. For me, it's not easy. For me to say, you're welcome and be stern and smile and say, you have not done a good job. Difficult. It takes an effort. So it is natural that what you're speaking, your facial expression should actually resemble that. And the face does wonders. And Hazrat Umar Radhiyallahu Anhu, there's an art in Arabic called as farasha, reading the face. You look at the person and read what's going on in his mind. He was an expert, we aren't. So facial expressions are very important. Welcoming, cordial. When you come on the stage, you should, as though he's your close friend or a close brother. Your gestures also are very welcoming. Your face is welcoming. So the facial expression is very important and makes a world of a difference. The person who's listening to you, it gives a different impression altogether. Last point, point number 8. If you have to turn or make a movement, do it from the hip and upper part of the body. Normally if I have to make a movement, I keep this straight. I look there. I can look here also and I can speak. The movement is always from the hips. This becomes firm. So it is not always doing like that, because that gives you firm and confident. I look here, I look there. All my movement is, my feet are not moving. My feet are there where it is. The feet will have to move sometime. I'll come to it later on. Normally, all your movement that is there is above the hip. Unless required, we'll come to it later on. Otherwise, once you come and you stand, the movement above the hip, that gives confidence. There are people who talk like that. It doesn't give. If you talk like that. And today we're going to talk on the topic of being sure of what you're going to do. And if you're sure what you're going to do, then you should know what you're going to do. All the movements are above the hip. The feet may have to move certain time. We'll come to it later on. Otherwise, all the gestures, all the movements should be above the hip, and that gives confidence. You can make out a difference between a person who is a trained and a professional speaker. This rule is broken when you're with the podium or when you're moving around. This rule is broken. This rule is especially there when you're speaking in front of the microphone without a podium. I have not come across any course anywhere in the world, a professional course, which says don't give lectures with notes, don't use a podium. So ours is unconventional. Unconventional. Yes, somebody may have seen our notes and copied, that's a different question. There are many organizations who copied and we have no problem in someone copying. But you will find they have their own rules and regulations. We'll discuss it later on. Gestures, very important. Movement, very important. Before we have a break, any questions? Any questions on gestures? We have finished about 50%. And we have only 2 hours left. Yes, brother.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Is it permissible for me to slightly bow? Because I was given a beautiful advice from my brother Ash. He just mentioned that you only bow to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but due to my environment, I have the habit of, let me just show. It's just, thank you, Because in Thailand, in Philippines, I just personally found it very humbling. I don't present myself as stern or otherwise. Jazakallah khair.
The brother asked the question that can I bow because it's a culture in certain countries that can I bow? As long as the bow is only little as a formality, no problem. Bowing per se, a proper bow can be done to no one but to Allah alone. Bowing. Bowing means there are two types. One is bowing, one is prostration. Prostration means fully putting your head on the ground. Bowing means it's at 90 degrees. But there are scholars that have defined that more than so many degrees is shirk or haram. I haven't gone into the details. But just saying like that is no problem. If you're like that becomes a bit more, it's dangerous. So you have to realize that if it's just a small 3-4 degrees bow or a 5 degrees, some scholars have given the degree also. After this, it is shirk. I haven't gone into the details, so I don't want to repeat also that which degree is not allowed. Yes, brother.
I'm sorry. If that's the case, what about like dua? Like if in Thailand I would be like sawadikap with this hand gesture.
Anything. If you're bowing little bit, just as a culture.
The hand gesture, sorry. The hand gesture.
Hand gesture, this per se, it comes in culture. But if I know this culture means something which is against the deen, I personally will not do this in India. I'm doing now, but not doing it for you to show it. Doing this is not haram, otherwise I wouldn't have done it. But by doing this, it means certain things which will lead to haram. So I personally will not do this and wish someone. Doing this is not haram, I'm doing it now. If it's haram, I won't do it. It's not haram. But because it may have another connotation, it may mean that, okay, I want to bow. It may mean that I'm worshipping you. If all these connotations are attached, doing this per se is not allowed. Otherwise, there is no problem in putting your hands together. There is no hadith saying you can't put your hands together. Coming to the question of that culture. Now, in culture, you have to realize, for example, India. In India, it's a common practice that when we meet, we embrace each other. In the hadith, our beloved Prophet Muhammad said, do not embrace each other unless you're coming from abroad. So when we meet Eid in India, we embrace Eid Mubarak. Actually, it's against the deen. I know many of the Indians will be shocked. What is Zakir saying? In the Eid, we embrace each other. Correct? In Islam, we don't embrace. We shake hands and we just wish. Taqabbal Allah minna minkum. Not even Eid Mubarak. But saying Eid Mubarak is no problem. It is Mubah. It's a cultural greeting, not going against Quran and Sunnah. So you can't say Eid Mubarak. But embracing each other, it's permitted in the deen if you are coming from outside the city. But Indians do it. So similarly, bowing per se actually is haram, but just a small nod or a bend, knowing very well that it should not be done too much, just as a gesture, I say it's fine. For example, when they have martial arts, in martial arts they bow too much. It's not allowed. But if you do only a nod like that, okay. But if you bow down really, that's not permitted. I'm just doing it. So if you bow down too much, it's not permitted. But just like that, hand is not Islamic, but don't keep your hand on the heart, keep it on the... All these are cultural. As long as the culture doesn't go against the teachings of Quran and Sunnah, there's no problem. Yes, brother. Last question before we... Yes, brother.
Changing the posture from above the hip. If we were to change it, let's say a little bit, like shifting your weight by changing the foot movement, will that affect?
No, normally you don't do it. If you have to do it, we'll come to it next time. In the next section, deal with that. Normally you don't have to do it. You don't have to move away. When you have to move, I'll tell you how to move, inshallah. Yes, brother.
Zakir bhai, I'm used to watching your videos, especially the old ones.
Not the new one.
Today is training. I just want to clarify whether my observation is correct or not. Your gestures are more today. I don't know whether it's correct or not. you're making gestures almost every word or every other word. But during lectures, I thought it was little lesser.
How were my gestures yesterday? Forget today. Yesterday when I gave the speech, meaning and forms of dawah, how was it? You didn't know. That's the reason. Now you're observing my gestures. Now basically, hardly 5% of the time, less than 5% time, I made conscious gestures. When I said, I want to drink water, what is the time? That is the time I made conscious gestures. 95% time, even today, and even now, it is unconscious. That's the different thing that what you saw in the video 15 years back. Zakir Naik 15 years back was different and now I'm different. And after 15 years I'll be different. I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala always for the better.
So the frequency is all right to be natural if it's more or less, because I will have to do it conscious mind. So I want to train myself.
That's what I said, that your gestures should match your speech. Depending upon your speech. If you ask me, the hand at the terminus is only at a small portion of the talk. If you're giving 1 hour talk, it goes to the terminus many times, hundreds of times, but the percentage it gets stuck there is a very small percentage. Don't ask me how small, but surely less than 20%. That means 80% time my hand is moving. Unless I'm pausing. Sometimes I pause like that also. That's all. If I ask what's your name, I'm pausing here to be effective. Otherwise, normal time it goes on the terminus and ends there. If I'm not speaking and listening to you, that time it's here. While I'm speaking, approximately more than 75% time, it is moving. I have not done a calculation, but do a calculation. Unless I'm listening to someone asking a question, it's different. But while I'm speaking, more than 75% time my hands are moving. That time maybe it was 60, I have not done a survey, but natural. Now, I wouldn't say my gestures are more, but my gestures are more professional. It is more appealing. It would experience. Hope that answers the question. Inshallah, we'll have a short break. We'll have a break for Salah, for Zohar Salah. It's 1:13 now. So inshallah, we will resume at 2:15, okay? Or 2:15 is fine? Or you're on 2:30? 2:15 is fine? Or 2:30? Actually, it's 15 minutes plus 1 hour lunch. Who wants to come at 2:15? Only one person. Who wants to come at 2:30? Okay, all want to. Okay, fine, come at 2:30. So this time I'm giving you 2 minutes more. 15 minutes break and 1 hour, 3 minutes for lunchtime, inshallah. We'll resume, inshallah, at 2:30 sharp for the continuation of the session of techniques of dawah related public speaking. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillah bil alamin.
لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله محمد رسول الله أرجو رضاك يا الله أنت الرحيم يا الله هبني عطاك يا الله أنت الكريم منك العطاء يا الله أنت العظيم يا الله فيك الرجاء يا الله أنت الحليم الرحمن الستار ملك الملك الغفار الوهاب المنان المتعال الرحمن الستار ملك الملك الغفار الوهاب المنان المتعال الله الله يا ربي يا الله